Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to have you joining me today for another Sunday reset. Let's go ahead and get started. Right now, I am headed outside. I am taking this Epsom salt from Dr. Teal's in the eucalyptus and spearmint, I believe, and I'm going to be soaking my ferns. This was something that my neighbor sent me. I think she found it on TikTok, and it's just about soaking your ferns in the Epsom salt in an Epsom salt bath. So I'm just putting like 3 inches of water in here, and then I'm just kind of eyeballing, I don't know, a cup-ish of the Epsom salt, and I swirl it around with the hose, and then I'm going to soak my ferns in this. And the video did a time lapse of the fern in the water, and the leaves got nice and green and it plumped up really, really well. I did not do a fancy video like that. I just didn't have the time. You're supposed to let them sit for quite a few hours, 4 to 6 hours. So I will say that my ferns are struggling. It's not because of the weather. They're struggling because of the sun. So hopefully this will help. So in today's video, I didn't make a list, and that's because I was just kind of all over the place. Do you guys ever have those days where you feel like you have 1,001 thoughts going on? I felt like I had 6 or 7 different lists going on in my head, and I just couldn't get them like down on paper. And this happens to me fairly often. I have a lot of like running lists in my head, things that I want to get done, things that I need to get done. I'm also thinking of like what I have going on in the week, what my children have going on. Are there things that I'm forgetting? You know, does everybody have their clothes? Like it's the change of the season. Do I need to purchase things? I was thinking of 101 different things, and I couldn't even get my thoughts down on paper. So I really just focused on getting the food ready to go for the week, and just kind of getting my mind wrapped around that. And then I decided to spend more of my time on some things that I wanted to be doing versus things necessarily that I needed to be doing, if that makes sense. Listen, everything's going to get done, right? Like there's always going to be something on the list, something that needs cleaned, something that needs organized, something that needs attention. And something I've been trying to focus on in these Sunday reset videos is just to show that, I'm not always focusing on just the normal mundane chores. Sometimes I have to focus on doing things that I want to do, like soaking my ferns and some other projects that you're going to see coming up here. But right now I'm just showing you what we picked up in our grocery order this week. We have a lot of things that are just staples. I have mentioned in a previous video that I always order my groceries. Grocery shopping is probably my least favorite thing to do. I'm not even joking. I avoid going to the grocery store as often as possible. I'll do it if I have to, but it's not very often. So I try really hard to make sure that I'm ordering my groceries. Most of my items come from Walmart. I order a majority of my groceries from Walmart. I have found that their prices are typically the best when it comes to big box items. Not big box items, but like, the stuff that you get, from the center of the aisle or from the center of the grocery store. So, your cereal, your breads, your chips, that kind of stuff. I feel like they always have the best prices. So that's why I always seem to purchase there. Obviously, this is not sponsored by them, so you can grocery shop wherever you see fit. But I feel like their prices are the best. When we lived in Las Vegas, we used to shop at Smith's, which was a Kroger brand. We don't have that out here, but other times I'll shop at Price Chopper or Stop and Shop. So just going to be putting away the groceries and trying to do some organization in the process. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who wished Danny and I a happy anniversary on Instagram. We just celebrated 16 years together. I cannot believe it. I'm always blown away when I think about, pretty soon we're going to be together longer than we've been apart. That concept just blows my mind. And I think, how could we be married for 16 years? Like, I am not that old, but I really am that old. I mean, I do have a 15-year-old daughter. She's, 9 months away from turning 16, and just can't believe that we've been together that long. I'm always blown away when I think about the life that we've created together, and I just wanted to say a very heartfelt thank you to everybody who wished us a happy anniversary. That was so very sweet. While we're here in this shot, I purchased this strainer from Hobby Lobby. It was from the Spring Shop line, and I want to say it was like $7.99 maybe, but it was 40% off. I got it for really cheap. It almost doesn't fit in my sink. My sink is huge, and it almost didn't fit in here. And this isn't always something that I do, so I am about to cut these up for my kiddos. I don't normally do this. A lot of times I just wash them and then leave them whole. Because my kids like to eat them that way. However, I usually buy 2 of these containers. My kids love strawberries. They could eat that entire thing in one day, but they only had one because they were out. So I decided to cut them up to make them last a little bit longer. It's a fun tip if you have kiddos who will eat, the food really, really fast. You can cut it up and make them feel like they're getting a little bit more. It slows them down. They're not taking, 7 giant strawberries at once. They're going to take a little bowl full. So it's a tip that we do here in my house. But I also see tons of people just cut them up and make them look pretty in their fridge anyway. So there's always that too. One thing I do from time to time when I am refilling my canisters like this is to dump out the stuff that's currently in the container, put the new things in, and then put the old stuff back on top so that that stuff gets eaten first. I don't always do this because snacks go so fast in my house. I've actually been, it's been commented on one of my previous videos that I need to make sure I'm doing that. But honestly, everything goes so fast in my house that I don't really feel the need to do it. However, sometimes my kids cycle through snacks. So Cheez-Its have been a staple in my house since the beginning of, having children. My oldest son, it's like his favorite snack, but sometimes they slow down on them and cycle into something else. And so that was something they've been doing with the Cheez-Its. They've been eating the Ritz, they've been eating other snacks. So I wanted to make sure that I recycled those, or that I, brought the old Cheez-Its to the top so that they were getting eaten first since they weren't getting finished. So if that's something, that happens in your house where snacks are not really getting eaten very quickly, you probably want to keep an eye on that. But if you're like my house where snacks do not last, it's probably not as important. since I was taking my time on this day with putting away the groceries and everything, I decided that I was just going to try to do a little bit of food prep. I don't always do this on Sundays just because I have so much other stuff to do, and because there's always, so much laundry to do, backpacks to get ready and everything. I don't always have the time to just, food prep like this. A lot of times I just have to do it as we go, but on this day I decided that was something I wanted to focus on. So you're going to be seeing a little more food prep in this video than I typically do, but it was enjoyable. In a previous video, I had mentioned these clear acrylic containers that I had purchased on Amazon. I had plans to use them in the fridge and in the cabinets and whatnot. So here we are, we're finally using them. I had pre-washed these and they were just sitting on my counter for the last week waiting to be used. So I'm happy that I'm using them now, and they ended up being really helpful to just kind of keep things organized in the refrigerator. I am glad that I purchased those. They're not super deep and they do have handles, not handles, but like slots for, holding them on either end, which did make it difficult to pile things in because like these strawberries would just kind of slip out. So that part was interesting, but I think if I were using it, for other things, it would be fine. Overall, though, I think they're really good quality and, good quality for the price. We eat a lot of salads in my house. Is that something you guys have a lot with dinners? I feel like growing up, this was something I remember my mom doing a ton of. And honestly, now that I'm a parent, I think I get why she did. Yes, salads are nutritious, that goes without saying, but I think they're also a great filler food. So when you have a large family to feed, having a salad on the side with your meal really does help kiddos to slow down, enjoy their food, and it fills their tummies, just as well as some kind of carbohydrate or starch or something. So I still like to make potatoes and rice and things like that, but having a salad on the side seems to really fill tummies. So for example, tonight we tried a new pizza place in our area, and we ordered 2 large pizzas and they were really small, definitely not what we were used to when it came to large. And luckily I had already diced all these things up, had some spinach left over, so I made a big salad. Also had some hard-boiled egg from salads earlier this week, and we ate that on the side, and it made the pizza go, just exactly as far as we needed it. And in fact, I think we even had some leftovers. So if you are not a super big salad eater, just having some around and getting used to having it at the dinner table as an option can really make your meals go a little bit further. And now we're gonna clean and cut up some Brussels sprouts. You guys, I cannot tell you how much my family loves Brussels sprouts. My children, except for my littlest, everybody is obsessed with Brussels sprouts. It's their favorite vegetable. They ask for it all the time. I make them every single week. Nothing special. I just saute them in a pan with butter, and I use a little bit of Lowry seasoned salt and some garlic and onion, and they're just fantastic. They're so yummy. So if you are a Brussels sprouts eater, then I would be happy to show in a video how we make these and devour them. They're always so delicious, but my family is obsessed with Brussels sprouts. they won't eat corn or peas or, any of the kind of vegetables you would think that children are okay with, but they'll get down on the Brussels sprouts. It's so funny. On the menu for dinner this week, we were having some cheeseburgers. We were also having some chicken, and I think we were doing tacos, of course, always. We're always doing tacos at least one day a week, sometimes more than that. We did do some ground beef bulgogi, which is a Korean sweet beef. It's so delicious and super easy. Good to always have those items on hand. I try to have those ingredients on hand always because it's something I know everybody will eat and it's super easy to make. I can't remember what else we were having this week, but those are the things I can remember off the top of my head. My daughter has just put in a request for some homemade tomato soup and grilled cheese. So we're going to add that to the menu. But what are some staples that you guys have for dinners? I'm always interested in hearing what everybody else makes for dinners because I have a lot of people that I need to feed and satisfy. So if you've got some really great meals or Pinterest ideas, I would love to have them. So feel free to put them down in the comments and I will check them out. I am always on the hunt. While on the topic of dinners and meal prepping and food planning and meal planning, do you guys do that? Do you guys meal plan? I definitely try to meal plan. I have been better in the past. I've definitely not been as good over the last couple of months. I need to get back into it. I was really, really good about it back in Vegas, and we tried really hard to stay close to the budget. I will say now with filming and with my kids, everybody being in some kind of activity every night of the week, my meal planning definitely has gotten a little bit away from me. So I need to get back on board. I feel like I'm doing it like 75%. I'll plan, but then when the moment comes, I'm like, oh, that just takes too much time. I don't want to do it. So tell me, how do you meal plan? What do you do? Are you a month meal planner? Do you plan by the week? Do you just go by the day? Do you just kind of willy-nilly? Let me know what you do. I'm very, very curious. And what I'm doing now is just adding those eggs. I have that little yellow ceramic dish right there. That's where I kind of put the older eggs. I try to just have some in there, even if it's just half full, so it's easy for any kind of recipe. And then I decided to keep the cuties in the fridge. This is another thing. I don't normally keep these in the fridge. I usually keep them out on the counter. However, I feel like my kiddos haven't been eating them as much or as fast. They still want them, but they just haven't been eating them as fast. And so I wanted to have them out on or in the fridge so that way they didn't go bad as quickly. So I'm just doing a little bit of rearranging to get everything to fit. So as I was getting to the end of putting away all of the groceries, I realized I still had a ton of those acrylic containers. So I thought, well, maybe I would try to organize this cheese drawer a little bit better. Everything does kind of slide around. I had one plastic container in there already that you saw me put the individual cheeses in. I had purchased that at Ross back in Vegas like forever ago. So I did end up putting the cheeses in here. I will say I didn't think at the end of it all, I don't think that they fit as nicely as they did just in the drawer. This is clearly unnecessary. It worked perfectly fine in there. I don't know. It's nice to see things compartmentalized. I like that. It helps to kind of ease my anxiety or whatnot, having things in their place. So here's the fridge. All the groceries are put away. The food is prepped as much as I could do, and we are ready for the new week. Now we're going to move into another project. This is one of those I was talking about that was definitely not a need, it was a want. And that is to add some curtains to these windows here in the family room. So Danny and I have big plans for this family room. We eventually plan to add in some faux beams on the ceiling. We would like to add in a fireplace. And, you know, that's all going to happen over the next however long, I don't know, years. We're never moving again. So it could be, 10 years, who knows? But in the meantime, I just wanted to add another, element of coziness to the room. So we are layering on some curtains. They're not being used for anything other than, aesthetics, just something to look at. So here's what I picked up. They're from Walmart. They are a sheer panel. They were super cheap, I think less than $10. And, they're light filtering. So even though I don't plan on closing them, I still wanted there to be as much light as possible. So they're just really there to add in another texture. And the black curtain rod is also from Walmart. I know it was less than $9. It was $8 and change. So very, very affordable. And here they are, finally hung. I think they look really pretty. Like I said, I don't have any intention of closing them or using them, to block out light or anything like that. They're literally just meant to add in another layer of texture and coziness, and I think they do just that. And if you notice these pillows, these are from outside on our deck, and we're actually going to be having some changes to the deck here in the future. Danny and I actually made a change to the furniture that we purchased. It was not comfortable at all. So stay tuned for an update on the porch, or on the deck, I'm sorry. Those items should be delivered here in the next week. So hopefully I can have that up for you soon. And we're now moving into the next project. So Danny was not home while I was doing this. Otherwise, he would have been helping me. And we could have plowed through this a lot faster. However, we were having some friends over for dinner this night. So he was out getting some stuff from the grocery store, which sounds crazy because I just put all those groceries away. But I decided last minute we were going to make pork carnitas, so he went back out for me. But while he was gone, I wanted to get these stools put together. So I purchased these on Amazon. These are for the island. I have been talking about how I wasn't sure what I wanted for the island, and I do know what I want. I did find a really pretty natural oak chair with a back. However, they're like $150 a piece, and I just wasn't ready to commit to that. And I was worried that having a back on the chair at the island would get a little bit crowded with the chairs that are right there at the dining room table. So I decided to start with these stools. They are super affordable. They're from Amazon. They were, I think, $80 for two. So $160 total for four, which I thought was a steal. They had pretty good reviews. You know, some people said they were cheap, but for the most part, the reviews were pretty good. And I have to say that I think they're great. We've had them now for about a week, and they're really sturdy. They've got that little metal piece on the front part right there to kind of keep your feet from scuffing them up. But here they are, all four of them. I did go with black because I just felt like it gave a little bit of contrast to the all-white kitchen, and we love them. They're a great little stool. I don't think we'll have them, you know, forever, but for now they're a great affordable option. So that is it for today's Sunday Reset video, my friends. I can't thank you enough for spending a little bit of your day with me. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to consider giving it a thumbs up. And I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, so hopefully I will get to see you in the next one. Have a great day, friends. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.